Welcome, and thank you for blessing me with your valuable time today. Your energy is so appreciated. Thank you for being here with me to share in this expansion of energy and new possibility for you and your love life. You are in for an enlightening experience today. My name is Randina Marie, and my clients know me as the Queen of Rapid Transformation. I take my clients from where they are to where they want to be at quantum speeds. I have the gifts and abilities to sense and heal old wounds, blocks, limitations, and barriers within people, transforming them to power, freeing them from the karmic density cycle of creation. You know, having to experience painful lesson after painful lesson. And this catapults them into their desired experiences as new, truly profound beings. I am a licensed Master Neurolinguistic Programming Practitioner, licensed by the Society of NLP and Richard Bandler. I'm a certified weight loss master coach, a certified life coach, and an energy healer, among other certifications that I hold in my field. I help women to get what they want out of life and be happy doing it. I do this by teaching them how to discover their unconscious programming, transform their blocks to power, reinvent themselves, harness the power of the universe and their own feminine power, and how to master the laws of manifesting, creating a self-realized, powerful woman who knows her worth. Healing your past, loving who they are, living in their power, and creating a beautiful life on purpose. My focus is women and their relationships. I help them to attract the greatest love they have ever known into their lives and keep him, while becoming the greatest versions of themselves possible. Mastering the inner game and living life on their terms and on purpose with the love of their lives, being the queen to their king. I got into this work out of an intense desire to get out of my own pain. When I was 16 years old, I watched my mother take her last breath. She had just turned 41 years old. She died of depression and chemical dependency. She was a victim of domestic violence, and she was severely depressed. Because of her internal programming, she attracted a man who would mirror what she was doing to herself in her own mind. She had been on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication for over 10 years before they cut her off cold turkey. You can imagine the kind of malfunction that this created in her brain, not to mention the toxic cesspool in her body. She was never the same after that. She began taking medications to escape the pain of being cheated on by the love of her life. Because of the way she chose to deal with this was going to be the reason that her life would end, and she had no idea. She attracted men who lied, cheated, and abused her, both mentally and physically. That morning in the hospital, after witnessing the destruction of 4 young lives, mine and the lives of my 3 sisters, I made a vow that I was going to figure out how life really worked and teach other women how to be strong and know their true worth, because I inherently knew that there was no way these kinds of things were random. I knew the power of free will, and I knew that God had to deliver what we chose based off of our choices. I knew there had to be a way to alter our experiences in life. This just couldn't be it, that we were just due to some random act. After my mother died, I had my first child at 18 years old. I experienced men who would lie and cheat on me as well. I had forgotten that vow that I made to my mother, and I was treading in her footsteps unconsciously. It wasn't until I was 25 with my second child in an extremely dysfunctional relationship that I reached a breaking point. I was still living unconsciously with 2 children, no one to count on, and at that point in time, I was living on food stamps. I saw no way out. I walked outside, looked up at the sky, and I had a one-way argument with God. I blamed him for what was going on with my life. I told him I was angry, and mostly I was broken, and I couldn't take any more. And at that moment, I had a flash about the vow that I made at the hospital and also to my children, and I knew that my life had a deeper meaning. I told God that if he didn't show me how life really worked, that I was done. Well, a few days later, I was given the beginning of the answer, and for the next decade, I spent all of my days studying. I listened to thousands of hours of material from quantum physicists to naturopaths. I read hundreds and hundreds of medical journals, studies, and books. I took more courses than I can remember, and I became licensed and certified in so many areas of my study. I could not get enough. I had to understand how life worked and how we worked in relation to life. For most of my life, I was living unconsciously. I myself was a victim of my programming and conditioning. The choices I was making were impulsive and automatic. Like most are, I was on autopilot. My fascination with human consciousness and its effects on the field of creation have led me to the conclusion that we all know deep inside. We are all creators of our experience, good and bad. And when we become conscious of this and we program ourselves and our energies in such a way, we can attract and experience anything that we desire and be happy and sustain it. Anything, any person, any experience, whatever you dream of. And I can scientifically prove this, not just with the successful case studies of my own clients, but also with real scientific evidence. It wasn't enough for me to just have blind faith, as my experience with that had proven to be excruciatingly painful. I can now say that I can prove just about anything scientifically and metaphysically that you could think to ask me about. My selected area of study has been predominantly with women and their relationship with themselves, as the relationship we have with ourselves is the basis of all relationships that we have or ever will have with everyone and everything in our lives. When a woman is in line with her highest self, she attracts and keeps the most amazing men and fulfilling relationships, filled with the most intimate love and support. Not only that, she reaches success heights that she only dreamed of before. So after learning all I could, I went to work applying the principles I learned about creating with the universe. I applied these principles to my business, as I knew this was the area that I needed to get under control, as this was the only way I was going to be able to support myself and my children and get out of the situation that I was in. So after learning all I could, I went to work applying the principles I had learned about with the universe to my business. I knew I had to get this area under control, as this was the only way that I was going to be able to support myself. So I did that, and in a little time, I was working a few days a week making 6 figures a year. I got out of the relationship that I was in and decided I was going to give myself a break. However, I was continuously still desiring that closeness and that intimacy, and I was attracting all the wrong men. So I decided that I was going to take the same principles that I applied to create success in my business and apply them to attracting a man. I began teaching my clients these principles, and in no time at all, I had manifested the love of my life, and so were they. I began to see results that I myself couldn't believe. In a way, it seemed miraculous. And after client began experiencing the same results, I knew there was a definite system there that I could duplicate and replicate, and I was right. See, I had taken so many courses on manifesting your soulmate and manifesting the love of your life, and whatever it was, you name it, I took it. And they were all very beneficial in allowing me to make the connections to my belief systems and what I was attracting. What they were missing was how to clear those limitations and those belief systems that were dysfunctional for good from the root, and replace them with something more amazing and more beneficial that was going to lead me into attracting such a great love. And the truth is that if there is a limiting belief there that says that I don't deserve love, on the opposite end of that, there is somewhere in your consciousness that says I do deserve love. So when you can flip that around and you can clear out the reason why you don't believe you deserve to be loved, and then replace it with the knowing that you do deserve to be loved, you just radically and instantly transform it. I began teaching other women how to do this too, and it was working. So if you're here right now, it's because somewhere inside of you, you long to find your soulmate, a love that will lift you up and show you that you are loved and adored. A man who will cherish you and want to show the world you are his. A man who is committed to you and loves you unconditionally. I share my story with you hoping that it will inspire you to know that you can experience a great love, even if you've had enough with attracting the wrong guys, and if you're done with having your heart broken or having messy breakups or being in dysfunctional relationships. You can have a beautiful relationship, and you're in the right place. If you're ready to have true core confidence that will enable you to take the lead and to fully love yourself so he has no choice but to fall in love with you too, stay tuned. Today I'm going to show you how to begin to call in the love of your life, why being on purpose is the only way to go, and how staying on autopilot will ensure you attract the same type of men and experiences that you have in the past. I will show you a simple and fun 4-step process to align with your love that you can apply to all areas of your life right now and get results. I promise to let you know how to take what you've learned today and turn it into a lasting transformation. I ask you to please leave your comments below so that I can engage with you, and I will be sure to answer all of them. There is a lot of information for me to cover in a short amount of time, and I want to make sure and deliver my best for you. First thing, you must be very clear and deliberate about the love you are attracting, or you're always going to get what you always got. You have to be on purpose when you're attracting. When you are on autopilot, you just will get the same thing. Think about going to college. You're not just going to randomly float. Well, some of us do, but not all of us. You have to be deliberate in the courses that you take to reach a goal that you're after. The same principles that apply to attracting a great love apply to a career and business, to anything really. So let's start with your intention. You must be crystal clear about the type of love you want to experience. You've got to build your desired experiences in your mind. This is where the list comes in. This is not just any list. It's not just line items. In fact, this list is going to seem more like a short novel. The clearer and more intentional you can be, the better. There's a secret about lists that I'm going to share with you in just a minute. So I'm going to tell you what to include and not to include. When making a list, you want to be sure and be as clear as possible. You want to include things like what he does for a living, his financial money mindset. That's one thing that a lot of women forget to put in is how he deals with his finances. It's a huge thing. It really is a really big thing. Being that only 5% of the world makes 6 figures a year, you really want to make sure that you attract a man who's got his money game down tight, because let me tell you, 90% of the reason that all couples split up or get divorced is because they're of money problems. So if you attract somebody who understands the energy of money, knows how to make it, and is sort of somewhere resembles Donald Trump, where if he loses it all, he can quickly regain it. You want to make sure to include these things. You want to make sure to include his spirituality. It has to jive with yours. You want somebody who's going to challenge you a little bit, but not somebody who is completely on the opposite end, because that much challenge in a relationship just creates chaos. You want to make sure and include his communication abilities and how he talks and his anger management, and you want to include everything that you can think of. Go online and research it. There are so many different things that you can actually include. People think that they need to put what he looks like, his physical characteristics, and that's true, but that really is only 5% of your list, because he may show up differently. And if you have all on your list of exactly what you want him to look like and he shows up differently, you're going to go the other way, and you probably are just going to dismiss him. Not that somebody else won't come into your reality. Eventually it'll just prolong the process, and we're all about doing things quick. So the clearer that you can get, the more you create not only a mind map for your brain, and when you're out in the world, it's kind of like when you have one of those things on their faces and like a computer that's like it really is like that. That's what your brain is doing. It's going through these different scanning processes of guys. So you have all these guys in your reality. Let's say like you go into the gym and there's all these different guys. It'll be like, does he match? Does he match? Does he match? No, yes, no, you. And 95% of our communication with each other is done at the subconscious level. We're using our body language and our energy more than we're using like our conscious, intent. So he will notice in you that you have something that is attracted to him, and he'll be attracted to you. It really is like fun and amazing once you really get into it. So you also want to include whether you are okay with him having children or not. Like I said, his profession, what he does for a living, more so where he is going, if he is entrepreneurial type, if he is motivated, if he is moving forward. You want to make sure and include those kinds of things too. I did include some physical characteristics in my list. I wanted him to be 6'2". I wanted him to be muscular. I wanted him to have green eyes and brown hair, and just more importantly though, I wanted him to have that man energy, that just, that alpha male, compassionate, loving, but strong at the same time kind of energy, like a lion. And the funny thing is that the man that I ended up attracting is exactly that. I mean, he is 95% of my list, and the other 5% he is becoming. That's another thing also, is that you're going to have to understand that the person that you get, as long as they're becoming part of what you want, then it's okay to go forward with that. But if they're not, then your subconscious mind will alert you, no, this is a no. And when you get that intuitive hit that this is a no, go the other way. You must go the other way, because I'm telling you, before when I did this process, I got the intuitive hit that it was a no. I didn't listen. I still engaged, and it was like all these lessons that I had to learn. So rather than have that and just be able to attract that love that's just so amazing and that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and every day you wake up next to him and you're just even more in love, you want to make sure that you include everything on there. You also must understand that your list and the law of attraction will work together. So the more energy that you put into this list and the more clarity that you can create with this list, the more energy you're going to put out into the universe. This is what I want. This is what you're going to tell your subconscious, your conscious mind. Bring me this. And when you meet him, you will know. You will know because you had done all this pre-work and you had created such potential energy that when you meet, it's like you've known each other. Both of you know that there is something there that you are supposed to learn. It is the most magical and amazing thing. And it's not just happen chance. You know, you're actually creating this pocket of energy to experience this wonderful life. And I know that it works because I've seen it work 1,000 times. It worked in my life, and it continues to work. So making sure that you're very clear on the list that you make, and include all of the wonderful things. If you want him to be physically fit, if you want him to be into metaphysics, just everything that you can put on there. Like, the more clarity you have, the more you're going to be clear. You want to get into the energy of it, to engage, like feel it, really feel it, because that's the power of it, rather than just writing words. So begin your list or your novel. The most important thing is to feel the emotions, like I just said, of what it will feel like to have each thing as you write it. The more creative and visual you can be, the better. The important thing is to feel it. One practice that is missing from all other soulmate programs is the practice of gratitude. Not just any gratitude, but coherent gratitude. If you've known me before, you know that I teach gratitude for what you have in your life and for what is coming to you is the fastest way to attracting a great love into your life, or anything. Gratitude connects you to the supreme energy that creates a quantum boost in your energy of potential. So Wallace D. Wattles, in his book, The Science of Getting Rich, if you haven't read it, you must. He has an entire chapter dedicated to the law of gratitude. In fact, the most respected works have the same. He says, the grateful outreaching of your mind in thankful praise to the Supreme is a liberation or expenditure of force. It cannot fail to reach to that which is addressed, and the reaction is an instantaneous movement towards you. So on autopilot, you will attract by default. You'll attract what you've always attracted. How many of you have been deliberate in attracting a love relationship to yourself? The first step in manifesting a great love is you must be intentional. So here's the 4-step process. The first step is to be intentional. I have my clients do this by getting specific about the kind of man that they want to attract, like I showed you. And when you do this, you essentially create a brain map for what you want. Your brain literally filters out all the men who are not a match to this, and in turn, it filters in all the men who are, and it saves you so much time. You'll no longer be going on random dates to see if you're compatible. You won't have to join so many dating sites. You have an intention, and it's the same as choosing a career or a college. When you don't have an intention, all are possibilities. The universe doesn't know what to send you, so you are left to unconsciously filter for yourself. You're just in the sea of chaos, speed dating, dating sites, whatever. The chances of you falling into the same attraction pattern are 100% doing it this way. So number 2, what kind of relationship do you desire? This is your proclamation to the universe, and this is one of the most important things besides a list of what you want in a man. What kind of relationship do you want? This is something that most leave out. They completely forget to include this. What do you want? Do you want to have someone that you can talk to, your best friend? Like, you have to be very clear. And number 3 is to do deliberate attraction rituals to call him in. This would be something like creating a dream board, a video board, and connecting to his soul meditation. Also, love manifestation meditations. The key is to trust the process, allowing the universe to work its magic. So I want to talk a little bit more about the manifestation rituals. So the reason for doing this is because you want to get into the energy of engaging the power of the universe and also the God of your heart to bring to you what it is that you truly desire. And I would do things like dance around my house. I'd put on some empowering feminine music. I like the Goddess channel on Pandora. And I would dance around my house just feeling that feminine power and getting into myself and literally calling him in by doing this. And also, the dream board is an amazing thing to do. I just created a little board that there's on my YouTube channel. You'll find out how to create in Feng Shui a vision board. That one is dedicated to business. I will be creating one dedicated to attracting a man in the future. So what I did is I just got a little cork board and I put pictures of wedding dresses and just strong men and women, and then power couple, words like power couple, and I put it in my relationship corner. And I lit candles, and I would just get into the mode of gratitude and thank for this beautiful love that was coming into my life. And I would literally thank God for every moment that I was going to get to spend with him, and now I'm living that. And another thing that you could do is script writing. I do go into detail into this in later videos. If not in later videos, then I will on my website for sure. But script writing, I wrote out exactly how I met him, and it was 100% word for word, like exactly how I met him. I even found journals later of things that he would say to me. And the funny thing is that in my script writing, I would say he would call me beauty queen, and he would call me goddess, and he would love me. And the morning that I found the journal that I had stuffed away, my love actually did call me that. He calls me beauty queen all the time. He always tells me I'm his goddess, and he still doesn't even know that that was written that way. So it really is powerful when you get into it, and this stuff really does work. And it's just so amazing that we have so much control over our realities. So now I want to talk about the power of belief. So your beliefs will dictate what you attract and what you experience in life. What you believe about men, what you believe about relationships, what you believe about yourself is what you'll get. So you want to make sure that you take a look into that. In later videos, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So step 4 is aligning with love so you can sustain it and not sabotage it. You can override your programming by using willpower, but that will be short-lived. You must change your attraction points so you can keep and sustain a great love. You do this by becoming the queen to your king. This requires you to change your beliefs, heal your wounds and your faulty programming, and transform yourself. What kind of woman does the kind of man you desire deserve? Later in this video series, I will show you how to become the queen you are capable of becoming. I will teach you how to up-level your life quicker than you may think, and I will show you the fast way to attract love to you. Remember to be grateful for what you now have and for what is coming to you, and use coherent gratitude. Feel the feelings as though it's real. Be sure to check your email for your Soulmate Attraction Kit. There are a few more details that are in-depth and practices in there that will catapult your results. In the next video, I show you how to make sure the one you are calling in is Mr. Right and not another Mr. Wrong. And I also show you the reason you have attracted all the Mr. Wrongs or Mr. Not Right Nows into your life so far, and how to change your attraction for good. If you want to attract a king, remember you yourself must be a queen. Let your queen loose. If you want to have a beautiful relationship, you must first have beautiful beliefs about relationships and have a beautiful relationship with yourself. Doing this ensures you have a lifetime of love and anything else your heart desires. The power of love to create in life is the only power that is foundational and sustainable. Love grows everything it touches. Let me show you how to get there faster than you can imagine. Be sure to confirm your email address or you will miss out on the other half of this equation. And to ensure you get your Soulmate Attraction Toolkit. It is very valuable. So I thank you so much for watching this video. And I hope that you have a beautiful and wonderful day. And remember the action steps. Watch this video again if you need to. Write your list. That's the thing that you're going to be doing today to gain clarity about what you want in your man and what you want in your relationship. Start to gather magazines. What does your heart guide you to? It's easier to do your vision board after you have already created your list for what you want in your relationship and what you want in your man. If you've already created a list, go back and do it over. The more good new energy that you can put into it, the more it's going to reap harvest for you. So I hope this video has found your heart, and I thank you again for watching it. In love and light, I am Randina Marie, and I send you lots of love,